teaching you guys on how to smooth out your hair and get volume and do a really pretty beachy wave. Lots of clients have trouble with really getting in and knowing what kind of curling iron to use, what kind of, how to hold the curling iron, what to do to not get a really tight curl. And so anyways, I'm going to show you how to get some good volume, products to use that will give you that volume. And so if you are interested in seeing, stay tuned. Thanks. Okay, so I'm going to be showing you guys how to blow dry and curl hair with extensions in. Basically, a lot of clients have questions on exactly how we get those beachy waves, but also brushing out the extensions and making sure they're not tangled or matted or anything like that. So what I'm going to use on her first is our line of difiaba. It's called Pore Tonic, and this is what it looks like, and it's just a light detangling spray. So I just lightly spray that through the hair. And then when I go to brush, I love using the wet brush. So when I go to brush, I end up really kind of just taking small sections. I just washed her out of the shampoo bowl. And as you can see, it's pretty easy to brush out her hair. Her natural hair is a little bit of tangling on the bottom there, but that's okay, easy to get out. And she has one flat track extension in, so hers is fairly easy, as opposed to somebody who has 2 or 3, which takes a little more time to work around. But she's got great natural hair, so it's just a little volume and length that we get for her. Hair is all brushed out, so now I'm going to go ahead and start adding some product. She really has some trouble with frizzy hair, so we're going to use our K3 by difiaba, which is a treatment that helps prevent frizz from shampoo to shampoo. So you really want to kind of coat the hair with it. So you're going to go in and really kind of make sure that you section it and get in on all her natural hair, because the extensions don't really frizz. It's more the natural hair that tends to frizz and have the trouble, especially right now because there's a lot of humidity here in Southern California. So anyway, okay, so I got the K3. I really like to get by the roots because that's really where you get a ton of the frizziness. And I'm going to use a little bit of our Moroccan oil smoothing cream and just kind of coat the ends. And this is the smoothing lotion, actually, in their smooth line. So I like to do that. And now I'm going to also use some volume impulse, because even though she's got nice hair, she still wants some good volume, so her hair's not all flat. So I like to go in and really blow dry. I'm sorry, really add it liberally before I blow dry. Can one of you guys grab me an oil? Like whichever one, the difiaba one is fine, or the Moroccan is fine too. Thank you. Okay. So these, I'm gonna now use difiaba luminescent shine drops. This smells amazing. I absolutely love it. Smell that? Yep. It's like perfume in your hair, it's so amazing. So anyways, I go in and I love to coat the ends. Now I know this seems like a lot of products, but because she really needs her hair to kind of be on point and not be frizzy, I'm kind of going above and beyond. Because normally I would probably just use a little bit of the Pore Tonic and the Volume Impulse for a regular shampoo blow dry. So now I'm going to go ahead and start blow drying. So now what I do is I just start blow drying and I start really kind of shaking the hair out, especially her own hair. I don't do that to the extensions as much because I don't want to like tangle them or anything, but I really like to kind of, like they're kind of like a wet dog. I just get in there and really kind of move the hair around so it's not flat to the scalp. And you don't want to start round brushing or doing anything like that until you are about 80% dry. You get most of the water out, because you're really going to just waste your time if you start blow drying and round brushing at the same time. And it goes fairly quickly when you do it like this. If you kind of take your time and round brush from the very beginning and doing, it's that little section by little section, it takes forever. So you're getting a little tutorial right now too. I try to do this with clients a lot so I can show them what to do, but there's nothing like having it done in the salon, just because, of course, having 2 hands in the back of your head is a lot easier. I even struggle with my own hair sometimes, so. So I just get any kind of metal round brush. This is a ionic round brush, which I like. She's pretty good and dry. Now I'm actually going to start round brushing. The key to round brushing is having clean sections. So you want to really kind of get a nice clean section, and you don't want to get a section that's wider than the brush that you're using. I personally like this is about 1.5 inches, but I don't want to get a section that's wider than her hair, because it's just going to be harder for you to kind of maneuver, and sometimes you're using too small of a section, and it's like, well, that was pointless. You know, it's going to take you double the time to dry. So now what I like to do, and of course, for you who hold your blow dryer like this, you do the same thing. Now when I'm doing it on myself, get another brush here, I actually get, and I do it with the handle like this, and I round brush it like this. So, but as a hairdresser, it's easier for me to hold it by the actual nozzle. I have more control over it that way. So as I'm going, what I like to do is I kind of go on top and holding it and really getting that air to be pointed in the direction of the hair that you want it to go, of the way that you want the hair to lie. And I'm always trying to get volume. So I'm going to work through this one section and not drop it until I'm completely done. So I kind of start at the top, making sure that I'm getting all those frizzies down, and then work all the way until I get to the bottom. And this is all, I really, really focus on the hair that's above the extensions, because that's her hair, and like I said, the extensions don't really get frizzy. So those are kind of easy to smooth out, and I'll do them quickly. But right now, because of the fact that we really want to get rid of the frizz in her hair, so I kind of like to use like a mohawk and do that last. So I work around the sides first. And again, using a clean section, okay? So you're going to really kind of get in there and make sure that the section is brushed out. You don't want to try and pull the brush through hair that's tangled or matted or anything like that. Which is why it's so important to brush it out, make sure it's brushed out nicely before you get started. And now I'm incorporating that extension in there. And the same would apply to any other technique, except if you are doing a bonded extension, you really want to be careful not to get too much heat near where the bonds are at, because the bonds will in fact melt and come out easier. So like tape, individual bonded, even beaded individuals, when the hair is swollen from being wet, because when the hair shrinks back down, when it's dry, that bead will slip. And if you do the blow dry correctly from the beginning, you're not going to have to worry about going and then smoothing it out with a straightening iron after, which is what a lot of people do. So they're using so much heat in their hair that it's just, you know, their hair ends up burning off and frizzing. But I'm really gentle on the extension. I make sure not to get too close to where the track is, because you end up pulling on that track so much that you end up damaging. I'm leaving that top section for the last part because I really want to concentrate and focus on that. Make sure it's nice and smooth. You don't want to wait too long though. You don't want it to be dry when you get started. So you kind of want to work quickly. If you don't feel like you can get to this area quick enough, definitely just do that first. And then get to this after, because this will be a lot easier. So now what I like to do is I'm going to focus on the top here, okay? What I like to do is barrel sections, going one here, and then I turn around and go to the front so that I can really kind of focus and get that volume that I'm looking for. You may see a little heat or steam, rather, coming off, and that's just for hair drying and the product. So it's not burning or anything like that. So don't freak out if you do tend to see steam, because we are using heat on water. Doing this side now, that barrel curl. So I like to do a barrel curl here, barrel curl here, barrel, 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 and then a front barrel. And it's really important to make sure when you are blow drying your hair, especially if you're trying to get frizz out, that you want to make sure you have a nozzle on it, because if you don't, it's going to make the hair, the air of the blow dryer fly in every direction, and you will not get a nice smooth finish. Taking big sections just to make sure all those last little hairs that aren't dry get dried up. So now we're curling. This is a whole different animal. What I like to do for the beginner, I like to have them split their hair down the middle and the back. So you have half on one side, half on the other. It doesn't matter if it's perfect or not. And what I tend to tell the client is to start with one section and going backwards. So the way you're going to do it is you're actually going to have your curling iron, you're going to comb it out with your fingers, get a section, again, that's not wider than your curling iron. So you want a section that's not wider than this barrel, and obviously not longer than the actual shaft of the barrel. Okay, so I start in the middle, and I leave the tail end of the hair out, because you don't want to burn that. You don't want to start at the top and then work your way down, work your way up. You really want to leave the tail out, and then at the very last second, you're going to pull down, and I'll show you that in a better angle so that you can really kind of see. But I like to get vertical sections, and I do this so that your onyx hair goes into the extension as well, and they all kind of blend together to make a more natural finish. But as you can see, I'm just starting in the middle. I left a big tail end out, and as I'm turning, I'm working more of that end in there. I always keep the barrel pointed to the ceiling. And one tip for you who don't have any clue how to use a curling iron, you're going to want the handle to face your mirror. So either side, the barrel will face the mirror so that you know you're going to be turning away from your head. So I like to go around and do that section of the middle, where I split it down the middle, all the way back. And see, I leave the curl in there, and then I shake them out at the end, so that you can get a curl that's gonna really hold nicely. And I mean, also, if you really want something super loose, you're gonna comb it out right at the beginning. But again, I'll just keep working my way back. And as you get more familiar with how the curling iron goes, you'll be able to pick up some speed. So I do recommend you turning your curling iron down, especially if you get a really hot one. Like I'm using the Hot Tools, mine is definitely torn up, but I'm using the Hot Tools 1 1/4 inch, which I personally love because it's a curl that's not too tight and not too big, where if you use a 1 1/2 inch curling iron, you're gonna have that just really soft wave that will end up falling out an hour later. It just looks like you didn't do anything to your hair. So the 1 1/4 gives just a perfect finish to me. Once you pick up your speed, then you can turn the heat back up and work quicker. So, here I see. Just pull that down so you can see my technique there. So again, leaving those tail end pieces out. Also, if you go to the bottom to the top, you're gonna get a completely different type of curl. So it's gonna go, if you go here, first of all, you're burning those little ends, and then you get like a curly Q kind of curl. It's just not my favorite look. It looks like you just tried too hard. For me, I like more of a tousled kind of soft curl. That looks like we just woke up like that and got out of bed that way. As you can see, as I started on the other side, I failed to mention that I'm going the opposite direction. So it's all away from your face. This half of the hair is going to the left, and then the right half is going to the right. And you can go any direction in the back. It doesn't matter, whatever's more comfortable for you, because it does get a little more challenging as you get to these back sections. But I tend to feel by splitting it down the middle, it kind of gives you an even playing ground, you know? Okay. So we're on our last section here. Then I'm going to work on the top. Okay, so for the top, what I like to do is, I have a kind of weird system that I like to do, but I can't do this on myself, and you wouldn't be able to do it on yourself because you can't blow on your own hair. But what I like to do for clients, I do that same positioning of the curls that I did with the round brush. So what I do is I make sure I have a nice clean section, brushing it out. I then get, which is why I destroy my curling irons so much, but I do include the ends here. I try to leave a little bit of the tail out, but I get a little bit of hairspray and actually spray it on the iron when you really want your curl to hold and stay. And then I blow on it to have it set. So like I said, you won't be able to do that on yourself at home, but sometimes I go like that just to dry that hairspray. And I feel when you have a perfect curl, it sits on its own. So you know that the curl is going to really hold well for you if you can do that and make sure that the curl's staying on its own. I'll show you why in a second. So again, I'm going to use the curler, lightly curl it, making sure all those little frizzies, that's another reason I kind of do it too, because it kind of blows the frizzies down. And there we go, perfect curl. As soon as it falls over, you're like, forget it, that curl's never gonna stay. You see, I kind of try to put that tail out, and then I just do it at the very last second. I try not to leave it on too long, but unfortunately we are using heat, so it's never gonna be a perfect thing, because you know you're going to end up damaging your hair some way or another. In a perfect world, we wouldn't need to use heat on our hair. So now with these next sections, I do the same exact thing. I get these side barrels and I curl them. They're not going to have that, crazy frizz showing at all. But see, like right here, I'm wanting to get a little bit more, so I go in just right there. Get a little bit more volume. So now with her extension, I'll iron that out. I don't know how much over you curl. You can do it however you think. Okay. But then I go and I kind of curl the extensions in with it and brush them out. I mean, as you can see, you're getting just a nice tousle. You don't want anything too tight. This is where I'll go and perfect those little hairs and make sure that they're not going to be end, I'll go back and I'll look at just maybe sometimes I want to go in and kind of define some more pieces. So I'll go and grab just random little pieces and curl it for you.
Yeah, I would wait just for around a little before you did that.
Okay. There we go. I think we're finished up here. What do you think?
Looks good. I wish I could do my hair like that.
Do you not know? Me too.
I'm serious, if I lived down here, I'd be here every
Me
day.
too, me
Just
too.
so I could do my
Believe
hair.
me. So you can see how we've gotten, you know, the curl to look really natural, really full. Everything looks like it's blending together. No frizzies. She tends to really have a problem with frizz. We've tamed everything down, and this will hold until her next shampoo. The curl won't necessarily stay in there like that. She may have to freshen up her curl a couple of times, but if she doesn't wash her hair for 5 days, the frizz will not come, even with humid weather. So, all set, gorgeous. Okay, so that was the finished product. As you can see, it got her a really pretty finished wave. Didn't look like she was trying too hard. Really soft, subtle curls, and reduced all that frizz, and we got her some good volume. So hope you liked it, and I will see you again soon. Sorry I haven't filmed in so long. I have been so busy with our salon, and of course being a mom and everything else. So hope to see you again next week, and I will try my hardest to get another video up. That is another tutorial on hair. All right, well, thank you.